Hello, YouTubers. I'm in Channahon, Illinois, located more than 40 miles southwest of Chicago. And this is the Manor Motel. And behind this motel lies a small cropland and forest area where in 1974, hunters found skeletal remains of a man known as the Will County John Doe, 1974. He has recently been identified through forensic DNA testing as Donald M. Rozek of Harvey, Illinois, who vanished in the early 1970s and went unidentified for 47 years. But how he died and how he ended up in the woods is still a mystery. I will take you to the woods where he was found and give you available facts about Mr. Rozek. But first, let's check out this cool motel that is frozen in time. This retro motel along historic Route 66 is a time machine. The decor is from the 1950s and 60s, and it's a fun place to stay for travelers. Let's quickly look inside. As you can see, the decor is not up to date. It certainly has a lot of character, and the nightly rates are reasonable. It's a great place to stay if you're looking for something different. Okay, I'm back outside, and I'm heading out to the area where Mr. Rozek's body was found, less than a mile from this motel. That road to your right is Route 6. Most of the businesses that you see here probably did not exist in 1974, but the Manor Motel has been here for years. That busy highway there is I-55. I would guess that this area was secluded back in 1974. I am taking a side road along I-55 to take you to the location, and from there I will take a walk and speak about this case. And here we are, and that stop sign is where it starts. So I'm gonna park my car and walk along this road. This wooded area is about, and I'm guessing, 4 or 5 acres wide by 2.5 acres long, including the small cropland that you see here. Not really big in terms of forest, and it's quite dense. There are no known trails that I know of that you can hike here, so this is a perfect place to be if you don't want people to find you. Like I said before, not knowing the circumstances of his death, we don't know if he went here by his own will or if he was placed here. I'm only gonna walk a small portion of this land as you see on a map. On a Saturday, November 9th, 1974, small game hunters found skeletal remains of a man lying in a creek bed inside the forest. I don't know the exact location of this creek bed, but I'm assuming that it's around this area in yellow on the map. Forensics studied the skeleton, and it was determined that he was a white male aged between 35 to 50 years old. The man was wearing a black sweater, size 31 blue jeans, and size 9 brown work boots. He was between 5'9" to 5'11" and had extensive dental work done a week or two before death. Weight, eye and hair color are unknown, and cause of death undetermined. The estimated date of death was between 1972 to 1974. Now I'm going to attempt to go inside this dense forest and see how far I can get before I am swallowed by plant life. I just want to show you how unforgiving nature can be. As you can see, it is quite thick and dark inside, and there might be animal traps planted all around this forest that a human can step on. You can easily get scraped by plants and injured here if you're not careful. This is as far as I can go. Too much vegetation. This forest can eat you alive. So I'm going where it's safe, and that's out of here and back to my intended path. There were no additional personal items found with the man other than his clothes, and of course no identification. The police tried in vain to identify this man, but the technology back then was not as good as it is now, and they can only work with what they had. So his remains were eventually buried at a local cemetery, but were exhumed in December 1993 for more analysis by the sheriff's office. The man's identity still remained unknown, but the coroner's office began working on the case through a cold case unit formed in 2009. In 2020, the Cold Case Unit partnered with Othram, a private lab that conducts advanced forensic DNA testing to identify the remains. Working with Justice Bones, they quickly developed a genetic profile last year that was submitted to Family Tree DNA. Genealogists then narrowed down family leads, prompting investigators to interview several people from several states. After more DNA profiling and genealogy work, Othram narrowed the search to an Illinois resident who could be the nephew of the unknown man. Further testing concluded that he and the man were in fact nephew and uncle. Investigators interviewed the nephew, and he admitted that he had an uncle who was an Army veteran and that he vanished in 1971 or 1972, never to be seen again. Mr. Rozek would have been between the ages of 26 and 30 when he vanished. No other information is available right now for Mr. Donald Rozek because he's just identified on October 13th of 2022. The police now have to figure out if his death was natural, accidental, suicide, or murder. Now I'm going to make a right turn and head towards another possible entry to the forest that Mr. Rozek could have walked through or his killers could have used to dump his body. This building on the front of this empty lot used to be a business that folded a few years ago, and I'm guessing this was just an empty field back in the early 70s. So what happened to Donald Rozek, and why did he disappear and end up here? As I mentioned earlier that Mr. Rozek was an Army veteran, but it's not noted if he served in the Vietnam War. If he was in Vietnam, it is possible that he developed PTSD, which caused him to become depressed and decide to end his life and walk beyond the forest back there. Mr. Rozek at the time of his disappearance lived in Harvey, Illinois, which is more than 40 miles from here. Perhaps he knew about this area and liked it so much that he explored it often. It is off the beaten path. While on a hike, he might have fell ill or gotten injured and died at the creek bed. Another possibility is that he could have been murdered elsewhere and his killers, who knew about this secluded forest, placed him here, hoping no one would ever find him. It is not noted if Mr. Rozek has other family members other than his nephew that can speak out and give us answers about his life and where his mind was at when he vanished. Well, for now, at least he got his name back, and I'm hoping answers will come soon to what happened to Donald M. Rozek. That is it for now, since I don't have anything else. Please comment below to what you think about this, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.